Welcome children. Today we'll discuss the part 2 of the chapter Respiration in Plants. This is chapter 14 of class 11th biology. So for this chapter we'll be discussing today aerobic respiration tricarboxylic acid cycle. In our previous session we have already discussed what is respiration, what are the respiratory substrate, what is breathing and how breathing takes place in plants, then types of respiration, and in types of respiration, that is aerobic and anaerobic respiration, there is a common pathway called glycolysis that we have already discussed, and the end product of glycolysis is pyruvic acid. Now today we'll discuss aerobic respiration, that is the fate of the pyruvic acid in aerobic respiration and tricarboxylic acid cycle, that is a part of aerobic respiration. So let us start our discussion. So as I have said you earlier, you have to remember some of the abbreviations with their full forms. So these are the full forms that I have already given to you. So no need to read out this. So I am just skipping this slide. Now तो बच्चों हमने प्रीवियस सेशन में पार्ट 1 में हमने डिस्कस किया था कि ग्लूकोज इज द मेन सोर्स ऑफ और इमीडिएट सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी जो कि ब्रेकडाउन होता है, ऑक्सीडाइज होता है और एनर्जी रिलीज करता है, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड सेल्यूलर रेस्पिरेशन. तो हमारा जो फर्स्ट सेशन है उसमें हम डिस्कस किए थे कि ग्लूकोज का जो ऑक्सीडेशन होता है वो दो प्रोसेस से होता है. एक है दो तरह का होता है, दैट इज एरोबिक एंड एनारोबिक. एनारोबिक में आपका ग्लाइकोलिसिस होता है और फर्मेंटेशन होता है, और एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन में जैसे हमने आपको बताया था ग्लाइकोलिसिस, देन कन्वर्शन ऑफ एसिटिल पायरुविक एसिड इनटू एसिटिल कोएंजाइम में, एंड देन ट्राइकार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड साइकिल एंड इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम. सो ये दोनों में कॉमन क्या है? कॉमन है ग्लाइकोलिसिस, और ग्लाइकोलिसिस का एंड प्रोडक्ट क्या है? पायरुवेट. तो यहाँ आप डायग्राम में आप देख सकते हैं कि ग्लूकोज is broken down into 2 pyruvic acid or 2 pyruvate. Now what is the fate of pyruvate in both aerobic and anaerobic condition? That I have already discussed, but I am just reminding you. In order to remind you, I have given this diagram once again. So this pyruvate has the following fate. जैसे पायरुवेट हाइपोक्सिक और एनारोबिक कंडीशन में ये अल्कोहलिक फर्मेंटेशन हो सकता है, जिसमें आपका इथेनॉल एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड प्रोड्यूस हो सकता है, जिसमें आपका नेट गेन ऑफ एटीपी कितना है? 2 एटीपी. दैट वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड इन आवर प्रीवियस सेशन. अगेन इन केस ऑफ the same anaerobic condition, that means in absence of oxygen, the pyruvic acid can be fermented to lactate or lactic acid, which usually takes place in the muscles, in the erythrocytes and some other cells also, and some microorganisms also, where also the pyruvate is not completely oxidized. It is partially oxidized to form the lactate and carbon dioxide and energy. So in this case also 2 ATP are produced. But what happens to the pyruvate in aerobic respiration? Today we will discuss that. So 2 pyruvates are released by the oxidation of glucose during glycolysis. Now this pyruvic acid is converted into 2-acetyl coenzyme A, during which it releases carbon dioxide. Then this 2-acetyl coenzyme A, 2 number of acetyl coenzyme A, enters into citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle, and the complete breakdown of the acetyl coenzyme A takes place to release carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so today we'll discuss how this pyruvic acid is converted into acetyl coenzyme and then how acetyl coenzyme is converted into carbon dioxide and water. So aerobic respiration. For aerobic respiration to take place within the mitochondria, as you know, I have said you that aerobic respiration यानी आपका ग्लाइकोलिसिस तो कॉमन पाथवे जो कि साइटोप्लाज्म में होता है, उसके बाद जो पायरुविक एसिड ग्लाइकोलिसिस में बनता है वो ट्रांसफर हो जाता है माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में, और माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में रेस्ट ऑफ द प्रोसेस होता है एंड द माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया whatever events takes place in the mitochondria are taking place in the aerobic condition. So these steps are specifically made for the aerobic respiration. तो सबसे crucial events क्या क्या है aerobic respiration में? The complete oxidation of pyruvate by the stepwise removal of all the hydrogen atoms, leaving the 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. ठीक है, पायरुवेट जो रिलीज हुआ है ग्लूकोज से ड्यूरिंग ग्लाइकोलिसिस, वो स्टेप वाइज हाइड्रोजन को रिलीज करता जाता है, रिमूव करता जाता है और अल्टीमेटली कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज होता है। और ये कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कहाँ रिलीज होता है? मैट्रिक्स ऑफ द माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया। नाउ सेकेंड क्रूशियल इवेंट क्या है? द पासिंग ऑन ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स रिमूव्ड as part of the hydrogen atom to molecular oxygen with simultaneous synthesis of ATP. जैसे हमने आपको बताया कि एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन में ज्यादा एटीपी प्रोड्यूस होता है और एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन में ऑक्सीजन की जरूरत होती है, लेकिन आप ये सोच रहे होंगे कि ये जो प्रीवियस रिएक्शन हमने दिखाया एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन में, यहाँ तो एसिटाइल कोएंजाइम है या फिर पायरुविक एसिड ऑक्सीडाइज होके आपका कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड वाटर में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है, तो यहाँ आपका ऑक्सीजन का यूज हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है? आप जब ये पाथवे पढ़ेंगे वहां कहीं भी आप नहीं पढ़ेंगे कि ऑक्सीजन का यूज हो रहा है, तब फिर ऑक्सीजन का यूज क्या है? देखो यहाँ पर हमने जो बताया कि ये हाइड्रोजन रिमूव होता है, ठीक है, ये हाइड्रोजन स्टेप वाइज जो रिमूव होता है that has been transferred to the molecular oxygen and that forms ATP, ठीक है, और that forms the water रिलीज होता है इस तरह। और जब ये हाइड्रोजन ट्रांसफर होता है, हाइड्रोजन कैसे ट्रांसफर होता है? बाय पासिंग ऑन ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, इलेक्ट्रॉन पास होता है, फिर मैट्रिक्स से प्रोटॉन जाता है, दोनों मिलके हाइड्रोजन होते हैं, फिर हाइड्रोजन ऑक्सीजन के साथ मिलके वाटर बनाता है एंड ड्यूरिंग दिस प्रोसेस एटीपी इज फॉर्म्ड। सो व्हाट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग यू हैव टू रिमेंबर इज दैट दिस प्रोसेस, द सेकेंड सेट ऑफ इवेंट टेक्स प्लेस इन द इनर मेम्ब्रेन ऑफ द माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया। सो एरोबिक सेल्यूलर रेस्पिरेशन में सबसे पहला चीज क्या है? ऑक्सीजन इज रिक्वायर्ड, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज एरोबिक। और इसमें हमने आपको जो दो सेट ऑफ रिएक्शन बताया यहाँ पर, ये जो फर्स्ट रिएक्शन बताया, फर्स्ट सेट ऑफ रिएक्शन, उसका दो पार्ट होता है, एक है पायरुवेट ऑक्सीडेशन एंड क्रेब्स साइकिल। ये दो चीज आपका ये जो पहला पॉइंट है इसमें इंक्लूडेड है, ठीक है, इसको मिला के आपके टेक्स्ट बुक में एक पॉइंट करके दे दिया है, बट एक्चुअली जो हाइड्रोजन रिमूव होता है और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज होता है, वो प्रोसेस आपका दो स्टेप में होता है, आई मीन दो प्रोसेस से होता है, एक है पायरुवेट ऑक्सीडेशन, एक है दूसरा है क्रेब्स साइकिल। ये बहुत जरूरी है आपको याद रखना। दूसरा तीसरा जो है इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट चेन, वो है आपका दिस सेकेंड सेट ऑफ रिएक्शन। ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉन पास होता है, फिर वाटर बनता है, एटीपी बनता है, दैट इज द इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट चेन। So altogether there are 3 sets of reaction which occurs in the mitochondria during aerobic respiration other than glycolysis. So these things children you have to remember. तो अभी हमने जैसे आपको बताया था कि पायरुविक एसिड का फैट क्या होता है एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन में। पहले हमने बताया क्या होता है, पायरुवेट ऑक्सीडेशन। पायरुविक एसिड अंडरगोस पायरुवेट ऑक्सीडेशन। सबसे पहले हम इसको डिस्कस करेंगे, उसके बाद हम क्रेब्स साइकिल डिस्कस करेंगे। So pyruvate, which is formed by the glycolytic catabolism of the carbohydrates in the cytosol, after it enters mitochondrial matrix, undergoes oxidative decarboxylation. So ये जो pyruvate रिलीज हुआ है ग्लाइकोलिसिस से, वो आपका ऑक्सीडेटिव डीकार्बोक्सिलेशन होता है। ये है आपका ऑक्सीडेटिव decarboxylation. So this process is taking place in the mitochondria. Okay, तो इसका मतलब क्या है, so these pyruvic acid has to be transported from the cytoplasm to the mitochondria. Okay, and this process is catalyzed by an enzyme that is called pyruvic dehydrogenase or pyruvate dehydrogenase. Very important, children. Okay, so the reaction catalyzed by pyruvic dehydrogenase requires the participation of several enzymes that you should remember. So what are these enzymes? These enzymes are the pyruvic dehydrogenase. Then it requires several coenzymes for the functioning of this particular enzyme, and besides that it requires NAD and coenzyme A. तो चलिए बच्चों फिर देखते हैं कि इसका रिएक्शन क्या है। तो here you can see that this carboxyl is, here you can see this is the structure of pyruvate. Okay, I am just highlighting. This is pyruvate, which is a 3-carbon compound. Okay, so now this pyruvate is formed in the cytoplasm. Okay, now it is transported into the mitochondria. So it enters into the mitochondria, and in the mitochondrial matrix, so this is the matrix. In the matrix, the enzyme for oxidation of pyruvate is located, and this pyruvate is converted into a 2-carbon compound that is called acetyl coenzyme A. Okay, so you can see it consists of 2-carbon atom. Okay, so how it is formed? This is catalyzed by the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase. Then what else is required? NAD is required, and this NAD is reduced to NADH and H plus. That means इससे आपका हाइड्रोजन रिमूव हुआ है और वो हाइड्रोजन गया आपका NADH बनने चला गया। ठीक है, NAD को रिड्यूस कर दिया तो एक NADH प्रोड्यूस हो गया। So now 1 NADH is equivalent to how many ATP? It is equivalent to 3 ATP. So remember children, stepwise where the NAD are produced, where the ATP are produced. So these things you have to remember. Now what else is removed? The carbon dioxide is removed. Okay. So one carbon dioxide, so this carbon dioxide is removed, and then one hydrogen is removed, and your this is actually in the ionic form, so it is consisting of COOH. So that's why one hydrogen is removed and carbon dioxide is removed. And what is used? Your coenzyme A is used. So here you can see this coenzyme A is used, and that is attached to the acetyl coenzyme A. So it forms acetyl coenzyme A, and the whole process takes place in the mitochondria. So children, this process comes as your 3 marks question or 2 marks question. Okay. So this is called oxidative decarboxylation. Why? Because here pyruvate is oxidized and decarboxylation means carbon dioxide is released. And the enzyme is called pyruvate dehydrogenase because the removal of hydrogen is taking place from the pyruvate. So it is called pyruvate dehydrogenase. So now what is the fate of acetyl coenzyme A? Now this acetyl coenzyme A enters a cyclic pathway which is called tricarboxylic acid cycle. Okay, TCA cycle. So why it is called so, I will be telling you later on after showing you the reaction. And it is more commonly called as Krebs cycle. Okay, because it was discovered by the scientist Hans Krebs. Okay, now let us see the cycle. So here you can see the cycle. Okay, so here you can see this is the Krebs cycle. It is a cyclic process. As you can see, the acetyl coenzyme A, here is the acetyl coenzyme A, which is a 2-carbon compound. Now, this 2-carbon compound combines with oxaloacetic acid, and oxaloacetic acid is a 4-carbon compound. It is a 4-carbon compound. Remember children, just note down whatever I am saying. So, in presence of the enzyme, that is it is catalyzed by the enzyme citrate synthase. So, this 4-carbon compound combines with acetyl coenzyme A to form citrate. Citrate is a 6-carbon compound. So, this is 4 plus 2, so 6-carbon compound, and the citrate composed of, it consisting of 3 carboxylic group. It consisting of 3 carboxylic group, so it is called tricarboxylic acid cycle, because the first product that is formed in this cycle is the citrate, which is a tricarboxylic acid consisting of 3 COOH group. That's why it is called TCA cycle. So am I clear? And it is also called as your citrate cycle. Okay. Now this citrate is so during this process 1 molecule of water is utilized, and the acetyl coenzyme is attached to the oxaloacetic acid, but what is removed? Coenzyme A is removed. Okay, so here the coenzyme A is removed. Then citrate is converted into isocitrate. It is just a isomeric form, and it is catalyzed by aconitase, the enzyme aconitase. Then isocitrate is converted into alpha ketoglutaric acid or alpha ketoglutarate, and during this process 1 molecule of NADH is synthesized. That means NAD is reduced to NADH, and 1 molecule of carbon dioxide is removed. And what is the enzyme catalyzing this? The enzyme that catalyzes this reaction is isocitrate dehydrogenase. Okay. Then alpha ketoglutaric acid is, so here 1 hydrogen is removed. So now it becomes a 5-carbon compound. Citrate was 6-carbon compound. Isocitrate was also 6-carbon compound, but alpha ketoglutarate is a 5-carbon compound. Now from this alpha ketoglutarate, again 1 more carbonate is removed, and that becomes your succinyl coenzyme A. So since it is succinyl coenzyme A, 1 more coenzyme A is attached to this, and carbon dioxide is removed, and here once again NADH is formed. Okay. So here you can see that this is one step where NADH is formed. This is another step where NADH is formed. And the enzyme that catalyzes this reaction is alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. Now this succinyl coenzyme A is converted into succinate by simply removing the coenzyme A and the GTP is synthesized. Okay, so here you can see that only GTP is produced. 1 GTP is equivalent to 1 ATP and 1 NADH is equivalent to 3 ATP. Now this succinate is converted into fumarate. Okay, so this fumarate is a 4 carbon compound, and during this process the FADH2 is formed, and remember children, 1 FADH2 is equivalent to 2 ATP. Okay, and the enzyme that catalyzes this reaction is the succinate dehydrogenase. Next, fumarate is converted into malate, during which one molecule of water is utilized, and the enzyme that catalyzes the reaction is fumarase. So here the product is malate, and this malate is now converted into oxaloacetate, and oxaloacetate is also a 4 carbon compound, and the reaction is catalyzed by malate dehydrogenase, and here once again 1 NADH is produced. And again this oxaloacetate is ready to receive one more acetyl coenzyme A. So here children, you must be thinking that, so here from alpha ketoglutarate glutaric acid succinyl coenzyme A is formed. Now succinate is formed. So succinate is converted into fumarate, which is a 4 carbon compound. From this the malate is formed. Now malate is also a 4 carbon compound. Then how it is taking place? See this removal of hydrogen, whatever hydrogen is removed, that is utilized for the reduction of NAD and FAD. But the lost hydrogen is again received by the substrate from the water. Okay, so in this way water is utilized and water is also produced in this process that we will be discussing in our next session. So children, let me tell you how many ATP or NADP are produced here. So let us see from acetyl coenzyme A. This is only one acetyl coenzyme A. Okay, so from one acetyl coenzyme A, for the breakdown of one acetyl coenzyme A, let us see how many the, let me take the colored. So from one acetyl coenzyme A, it is when it is passing through this cycle, how many NADH are produced? This is 1, 2, then 3. Okay, then how many FADH? 1 FADH. Okay, and how many GTP or ATP? 1 GTP or ATP. Okay, so total you just calculate children how many ATP are generated. 1, 2 and 3. So this is 3 third NADH. So 3 NADH multiplied by 3 ATP. That means 3 3s are 9 ATP. Then 1 FADH2 is equivalent to how many ATP? It is equivalent to 2 ATP. It is equivalent to 2 ATP. So 9 plus 2, it is 11. Now this is 1 GTP is equivalent to 1 ATP. So 11 plus 1, that is 12 ATP. So altogether how many ATP are generated or produced during the synthesis of your acid breakdown of acetyl coenzyme A? It is altogether 12 ATP are synthesized. Okay. Now from pyruvic acid to acetyl coenzyme A, let us see here this picture. 1 NADH from one pyruvic acid to one acetyl coenzyme A. So 1 NADH is equivalent to 3 ATP. So in Krebs cycle 12 ATP plus these 3 ATP. So how many ATP? 15 ATP. 15 ATP are generated during the complete breakdown of pyruvic acid. So pyruvic acid, so children, stepwise you have to remember where, in what form the energy is released. So pyruvate is converted into acetyl coenzyme, then acetyl coenzyme enters into the citric acid cycle. So in one cycle, how many ATP are produced? That is 15 ATP. Okay. So how many pyruvic acids are produced from glycolysis? 2 pyruvic acid. So 2 pyruvic acid will form how many acetyl coenzyme? 2 acetyl coenzyme. So now you multiply everything into 2. So the number of ATP that is produced by the complete oxidation of pyruvic acid would also be multiplied by 2. And how much ATP will be produced? The total number of ATP produced in Krebs cycle is how much? That is 30. But if it is asked in Krebs cycle only, then how much you will write? You will write that acetyl coenzyme, because acetyl coenzyme is entering into the Krebs cycle or citrate cycle. So it will be 12 plus 12, that is 24. But how many ATP are produced by breakdown of one pyruvic acid? Means 15. How many ATP are produced by complete oxidation of two molecule of pyruvic acid? Means 30. Okay. So here at the end of Krebs cycle we got 30 ATP, and in glycolysis how many ATP we got? 8 ATP. So all together the complete breakdown of glucose into carbon dioxide and water releases how many ATP? 38 ATP. So now we'll be summarizing all these things. I think this cycle is completely clear to you. See, here nothing is wasted. Only the substrate and products are moving in a cyclic manner, and only carbon dioxide is released, water is used off, and ATP is generated. So now next let us see the overall equation for TCA cycle. So here you can see, children. So here let me tell you, this is acetyl coenzyme A, and this acetyl coenzyme A, when passes through this Krebs cycle, what are used of? 3 NAD, 1 FAD and 2 water. This is not 3 water, this is 2 water. 2 water molecules are used, and what are released? 3 NAD, so 3 NADH. Okay. So here what we have taken? 3 NAD, so 3 NADH. 1 FAD, so 1 FADH. And here 2 water and 2 carbon dioxide are released. And 1 ADP यानी GTP हमने लिया था, GDP. So 1 ADP यूटिलाइज हो रहा है. So here we are getting 1 ATP. So टोटल ये हो गया एक एसिटाइल कोएंजाइम से. अगर 2 एसिटाइल कोएंजाइम होता तो आप इसको सारे को डबल कर दो. ठीक है. एंड दिस वन नाउ, ये जो रिलीज हुआ है यहां से, क्या क्या रिलीज हुआ आपका? that you can see that the NADH and FAD, ये दोनों कहाँ जाते हैं आपका? For oxidative phosphorylation to release ATP. Okay. Now what is the overall reaction? Acetyl coenzyme में 3 NAD, 1 FAD, 1 ATP, 2 water. Now it produces 2 carbon dioxide, 3 NADH, 3 H plus, FADH2, ATP and coenzyme. So this is the summary of input and output of the TCA cycle. So here once again I have given the input and output, that is 2-acetyl coenzyme, 6 NAD. This is for 2-acetyl coenzyme. For previously we have taken for only 1-acetyl coenzyme. Now we have taken it for 2-acetyl coenzyme. How many NAD? 6 NAD, 2 FAD, okay, 6 NAD, 2 acetyl coenzyme and 2 ADP. Now 2 acetyl coenzyme enters into the Krebs cycle, and what are released? Here you can see that the releasing substances are 4 carbon dioxide, 6 NADH, 2 FADH and 2 ATP. Okay. So these are the input and output. Now the net gain of ATP in aerobic respiration. पूरा aerobic respiration में किस तरह मैंने आपको बताया था कि 38 ATP किस तरह होता है. तो प्रीवियसली हमने डिस्कस किया था कि आपका जो ग्लाइकोलिसिस होता है, ग्लाइकोलिसिस में कितना ATP प्रोड्यूस होता है? That is net gain of ATP is total ATP is 8 ATP. ओके, ये हम ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. और आज हमने क्या देखा? When the pyruvic acid is converted into the acetyl coenzyme में, एक pyruvic acid से एक acetyl coenzyme में होने के लिए एक NADH प्रोड्यूस होता है, यानी 3 ATP होता है. अभी 2 molecules of pyruvic acid 2 molecule of acetyl coenzyme में कन्वर्ट होने के लिए आपका क्या प्रोड्यूस होता है? 6 ATP. It is 6 ATP. Okay. Now then the acetyl coenzyme enters into the citric acid, which I have already discussed how many total ATP are produced. So as you can see that here 6 molecule of NAD means 18 ATP, 2 molecules of FAT means 4 ATP and 2 molecules of GTP means 2 ATP. So total 24 ATP in Krebs cycle, and here it is 6 ATP, this one 6 ATP and this one 8 ATP and this one 24 ATP. So total it is 38 ATP. Okay, but children, here I will tell you one of the most important thing. You should go through this slide. In prokaryotic, there is no nucleus and no membrane around their organelles. So, where does aerobic respiration occurs? कहाँ होता है? So, here is the answer. Here are the some of the differences between prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. In prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell both, the glycolysis takes place in cytoplasm. As you can see here, the Krebs cycle takes place in cytoplasm in case of prokaryotic cell, but in case of eukaryotic cell it takes place in the mitochondria. Now the electron transport chain takes place in the cell membrane of prokaryotic cell, but in case of eukaryotic cell it takes place in the mitochondrial membrane. Because you know that in prokaryote there is no mitochondria, but there is a structure, membrane outgrowth, membrane not outgrowth, ingrowth. There is a growth of a membrane, projected part from the membrane, that is called mesosome. So that is also a membrane. So in that membrane the electron transport chain is located. Then the fermentation, if anaerobic respiration is taking place, then fermentation is taking place in cytoplasm. So in eukaryotic cell also fermentation is taking place in cytoplasm. Now here this point children you have to remember, very important. Okay, in prokaryote maximum of 38 ATP are generated during aerobic respiration. But in case of eukaryote, they can generate or synthesize maximum 36 ATP. This is very, very important. But I have discussed here that they are producing 38 ATP. What about the 2 ATP? Where do the 2 ATP goes? कहाँ लॉस हो जाता है 2 ATP आपका यूकैरियोट में? The same process is taking place, but ये 2 ATP जो यूकैरियोट में लॉस हो जाता है कहाँ चला जाता है? So let us see the NADH. ग्लाइकोलिसिस में आपका कितना NADH प्रोड्यूस हुआ? 2 NADH प्रोड्यूस होता है. Remember children, there are 2 NADH produced in glycolysis. तो ये NADH आपका अगर ये प्रोकैरियोट है तो वो सेल मेम्ब्रेन में ही हो जाएगा, तो उसको कहीं मूव करने की जरूरत नहीं है. बट NADH का फॉस्फोरिलेशन के लिए, ठीक है, ये NADH का ऑक्सीडेटिव डिफॉस्फोरिलेशन यानी आपका ATP फॉर्मेशन के लिए, ऑक्सीडेटिव फॉस्फोरिलेशन के लिए इसको कहाँ मूव करना पड़ेगा? माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया का मेम्ब्रेन के अंदर मूव करना पड़ेगा, यानी माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया का मेम्ब्रेन को क्रॉस करके जाना पड़ेगा. तो यहाँ हमारा कितने NADH प्रोड्यूस हुए हैं ग्लाइकोलिसिस में? 2 NADH प्रोड्यूस हुए हैं. तो ये 2 NADH जो माइटोकॉन्ड्रियल मेम्ब्रेन को क्रॉस करके अंदर जाते हैं, that takes place at the cost of 2 ATP molecule. तो यहाँ पर आपका 2 ATP यूटिलाइज हो जाता है in case of eukaryotic cell. So that's why आपका instead of 38 ATP, how many ATP are produced? By the breakdown, complete breakdown or aerobic oxidation of glucose, 36 ATP. So this point is very, very important, children. So now there must be some questions in your mind. We have till now seen that glucose has been broken down to release carbon dioxide. Glucose अभी तक आपका कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड और कितना मॉलिक्यूल NAD हुआ? NADH हुआ 8 molecules of NADH, 2 molecules of FADH2 और 2 ATP synthesis हुआ. आपके दिमाग में ये क्वेश्चन आ रहा होगा कि हम फिर इसको एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन का क्यों बोल रहे हैं? यहाँ तो कहीं पर भी ऑक्सीजन का रोल तो कहीं भी हमने डिस्कस नहीं किया, ठीक है, और हम बोल रहे हैं कि ज्यादा एटीपी प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है, ज्यादा एटीपी प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है. तो कहाँ है ज्यादा एटीपी? हम तो डायरेक्ट एटीपी 2 ही बात किए, तो फिर बाकी जो इतना एटीपी प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है 38, 36 एटीपी प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, ऑक्सीजन यूटिलाइज हो रहा है, एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन है, ऐसा क्यों कहा जाता है? और आप ये भी सोच रहे होंगे कि ये जो NADH और FADH2 ये सारे रिलीज हुए हैं यहाँ पर, उनका रोल क्या है? ठीक है, तो ये सारे क्वेश्चन का सवाल हम आपको नेक्स्ट सेशन में देंगे, जिसमें हम डिस्कस करेंगे ये सारे सवालों का आंसर. तो नेक्स्ट सेशन के लिए तैयार रहिए, लेकिन उससे पहले आप फर्स्ट पार्ट और सेकंड पार्ट को अच्छी तरह समझ लीजिए कि कहाँ पर कितने NADH, कौन से स्टेप में FADH2, कौन से स्टेप में ATP रिलीज होता है, और जब रिलीज होता है तो उसका सबस्ट्रेट क्या है और प्रोडक्ट क्या है, कौन सा सबस्ट्रेट और कौन सा प्रोडक्ट के बीच में ये जो NADH2 या फिर FADH2 या फिर ATP सिंथेसिस होता है. प्लीज चिल्ड्रन go through these two videos and clarify all your concept. Then let us look for the next topic in which we'll clarify all your doubts that is related to the fate of NADH2, the role of oxygen in aerobic respiration. So get ready to discuss electron transport system and oxidative phosphorylation. the respiratory balance sheet, amphibolic pathway, and respiratory quotient in the next session. Till then, bye. Thank you.